So, are you feeling pretty comfortable with your tech stocks right now? You might want to pay close attention. Because while Wall Street seems to be celebrating on the surface, a crack has just appeared in the very foundation of the AI boom. And believe me, it is sending shockwaves through the market. We've got one side cheering and the other side, well, they're bracing for a fight.
And this slide really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got the broad market, the Dow, the S&P 500, they're climbing higher. Everyone's excited about holiday shopping. But then look at the other side. The AI sector, the giants, Nvidia and AMD, they took a serious hit. It's a classic tug of war, with two completely different stories pulling the market in opposite directions.
So that brings us to the big question, right? What is really going on here? Why is the engine of the entire market, the AI sector, suddenly sputtering while everything else seems to be doing just fine? All right, let's dive in and see what the numbers are actually telling us. First up, the scoreboard. As you can see, the Dow and the S&P 500, they had a pretty solid day. But notice the NASDAQ, the one that's packed with tech stocks, it's lagging behind. That's our first clue. Even the bond market, with the 10-year Treasury yield kind of holding steady, it's signaling this sense of caution just bubbling under the surface. The numbers themselves are telling a divided story. This quote just nails it. It perfectly captures the feel of the day. The market was literally caught between two massive narratives. You've got the happy, cheerful consumer on one side, and this brewing, intense battle in the AI chip world on the other. And you know what? It's that second story that could have absolutely massive implications. So let's zoom in on that. A tiny event, just a single piece of news, has created what you could call a butterfly effect. It's threatening to cause a hurricane in the semiconductor world. This right here is where the real drama is unfolding. To really get why this is such a huge deal, you have to understand the scene. We are in the middle of a full-blown AI gold rush. Every single major company is racing to build the next big thing in AI. And just like any gold rush, you can't find gold if you don't have the right tools. And that leads us straight to the pickaxe problem. In this AI gold rush, the essential tools, the pickaxes, are these super powerful GPUs. And for a long, long time, Nvidia has been pretty much the only company selling them. This near monopoly gave them insane pricing power and made them the undisputed king of AI hardware. But that might be changing. Reports came out that Meta, one of the absolute biggest buyers of these chips, is looking into using Google's own AI chips. Why? To stop relying on just one company, and, let's be real, to probably cut costs. And this chart just perfectly shows the market's gut reaction. Nvidia stock dropped immediately, and its biggest competitor, AMD, fell even harder. This isn't just a rumor, this is the first real crack in Nvidia's armor. Of course, none of this is happening in a vacuum. Broader economic worries are definitely still out there. For instance, the market is no longer so sure we're getting an interest rate cut in December. The probability has dropped all the way to 41%. So that economic uncertainty is the backdrop for everything else we're watching. And this isn't just a US story. The shockwaves from this potential AI chip war are spreading all across the globe. They're creating really complex situations for major international markets, like South Korea. For the Korean market, this is a dangerous tug of war. On one side, there's this general feeling of optimism because the VIX, Wall Street's fear gauge, took a nosedive. That's good. But on the other side, all the anxiety hitting US chipmakers directly pressures Korea's own semiconductor giants, and those companies are a huge part of their market. So if you're an investor, what do? Well, we might start to see something called a sector rotation. Basically, money starts flowing out of the now risky semiconductor space and into other areas. As you can see here, sectors like financials and long-term growth stories like EV batteries suddenly look a lot more attractive. It's a huge sign that investors are starting to hedge their bets against the AI chip titans. Okay, let's pivot for a second. Let's go back to that other big story from today, the roaring retail sector. The market absolutely loved those optimistic forecasts, but we really need to peek behind the curtain and compare the expectations with the cold, hard economic reality. So here's the number that got everybody so excited. A forecast of nearly 187 million shoppers this holiday season, a brand new record. This is the big, shiny expectation that drove the whole market rally. It's a huge, super optimistic number. But here's the reality check. Well, yeah, more people might be out shopping. The actual amount each person is expected to spend is forecasted to go down by 1.3%.
So we've got more shoppers, but they've got tighter wallets. So the takeaway here is critical. The data is telling us that while people still want to get out there for the holiday season, their wallets are getting squeezed hard. High inflation, rising interest rates, it's all clearly taking a toll on family budgets. And that's a fact that all the headline optimism seems to be completely ignoring.
This all leads us to our final section. In a market that's being pulled around by these conflicting stories, the only way to get some clarity is to focus on the data. So let's look at how you can separate all the market hype from the hard numbers that are coming up next.
Okay, keep your eyes on these two releases. First up, we've got durable goods orders. That'll give us a sense of what's happening in manufacturing. But the big one, the one to really watch, is personal income and spending. That report is going to give us the clearest picture yet. It will either confirm all that retail optimism, or it'll validate the concerns about a squeezed consumer. And that brings us right back to our central conflict. Is this what we're seeing? Is this the official start of the AI chip war? And is the seemingly unstoppable reign of Nvidia finally being challenged? The next few months are going to tell us if this was just a little tremor or if it was the start of a massive seismic shift in the world of tech.